Hi guys, Jared here at Day Traders FX. I hope you guys had a great weekend, and I hope you're excited to get back to the markets. I sure am. We have some very good setups coming into the start of this week. Quick little look at some of the news we have this week. There's quite a bit of it, actually. Nothing too exciting on Tuesday, but Wednesday we have quite a bit of stuff going on. Thursday we've got a good bit of news, and Friday is going to be a pretty heavy news day as well. So it should be a pretty exciting day, and of course next week is the Fed meeting, and they're going to be talking some serious taper, so we're going to see how that goes. That could subdue the US dollar pairs just a little bit in anticipation of what may be the outcome of that meeting. And again, that's on the 18th, so it's just about 9 days from now. It'll be Wednesday of next week. Okay, I think one of our really good opportunities this week will be on the dollar CAD pair. I don't trade the dollar CAD that much, but I have been, after the crazy August that we had, I trade anything that has any kind of a good setup, and the dollar CAD has a really good setup actually. A couple of interesting things to look at here is, first of all, we've started off with a bit of a missed weekly pivot here, which is up here around 104.45 area. And so that's something to look at first off. You can see that we've had a bit of a decline here, kind of a slow, steady decline. We haven't left too many missed daily or weekly pivots in the process, except for this guy right here, the missed weekly pivot for this week. And what I'm looking at is we've definitely, as we come down into this here, we have a nice inverted hammer, which is a good sign of things starting to turn a little bit bullish. We also have a regular hammer right here, which is telling us that there's some pretty decent support around the 103.60-ish area. As we look at the slightly larger time frames, the 4-hour chart, you can see there's a trend line sneaking up here, and we're going to talk about what that is in just a moment. But another thing that I'm looking at is the high of last week to the low of this week. If that whole level holds, if the dollar CAD doesn't go any lower than the current low for another several hours or so, that puts this range at about 200 pips. And it looks like this is a pretty strong looking candle. This looks like this might be able to hang in there pretty well. And so that's another thing to look at. And we've got our 23% fib around 104.100, give or take, and then that weekly pivot's up there just above the 38% fib with the 200 moving average and so on right there. But what I'm really looking at is this bigger trend, this bigger channel in the works here. And you can see that every time we've come to this area, we've come to this trend line, the dollar CAD has bounced off. Now we had a really nice shooting star, a really nice reversal candle at basically a double top here, and you can see the CAD fell off that by, again, about 190, 200 pips, give or take. Not a huge move, but definitely a move nonetheless. And now we've come back to this trend line once again, and you can see that it's bouncing just perfectly. This trend line has been tested time and time again, and we've come back to that after a pretty significant bounce. Now, one thing I get a little curious about is as we start to get consolidation on these trend lines, I get a little bit curious / worried that a break's going to happen, but we haven't seen that. We saw some consolidation here, and then it ran all the way back up and gave a lot of time in the middle there before coming back down and testing this level. So I'm going to be looking for an opportunity to get long on the dollar CAD against those lows, against this bigger, longer term picture here. You can see that if we even go out a little bit further, there's a pretty consistent move up, but we are coming off some significant resistance, but this is a good spot to hopefully get a bit of a bounce and be able to take this higher. So basically what I'm looking for is we're only currently we're about 12 pips off the low, so I'm basically interested in entering around current market price. You can see it's around 103, 72, 73. I wouldn't mind entering here and getting our stops down here just below some of these lows, give ourselves a little bit of space, a little bit extra room there. So if you get in, say around 103.70, give or take, I'd be looking to have my stops below 103.50 for sure. So maybe 103.40 area, give yourself about a 30 pip stop, and then that'll give us a 60 to 70 pip profit target running into that weekly pivot point. So that should be a good setup on the dollar CAD, and hopefully you'll make some pips on it. Hopefully we'll all make some pips on it. Take care, everyone, and very best of luck.